Hello everyone, JC here again with a new Mandela Effect update. This is going to be update number 29. If you are new to my channel and you enjoy Mandela Effect videos, please be sure to subscribe. I upload new videos every single week. Anyways guys, let's jump right in. For this first possible Mandela Effect example, I have a quote from Scarface. Scarface is one of my favorite movies, and I've seen it quite a few times. So I'm quite familiar with the dialogue in the movie, and so are many other people. Anyways, this quote is said towards the end of the movie where they're having dinner at a fancy restaurant, and Tony and his wife, they end up getting into a huge fight in the middle of the restaurant, and she ends up stating that she's done and that she's leaving him. However, as she's walking out, Tony says this memorable quote. Is it A, another quaalude, she gonna love me again? Or B, another quaalude, she'll love me in the morning? And the correct answer is A, another quaalude, she gonna love me again. And I have a few things to say about this one. First of all, I remember the other quote, she'll love me in the morning. Also, I don't remember the quote even being said during this scene. I remember the quote being said during the bathtub scene where he has another fight with his wife, and at the end of that fight is when I remember the quote being said. However, when I first heard about this, I went to go check that scene, and it was nowhere to be found. There's nothing even similar to that said during that fight. So I googled it and I found where it was, and it was during the scene where they have their final fight at the restaurant. As many of you know, I poll different groups of people before I put any Mandela Effect onto any of my videos. And when I polled people, somebody pointed out the fact that this has been referenced in another movie. And that movie is Friday, starring Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. During the movie, Chris Tucker does an impersonation of this very quote as Scarface, and he remembers it as in the morning. And here it is, check it out.
Hey, Dad, when we gonna hook up? Boy, please.
Avita! Avita! That's okay! She'll be back. Another quaalude, she'll love me in the morning. Ain't that right, Frank?
Let her go, let her go. Another quaalude, you're gonna love me again.
For this next possible Mandela Effect, we have this one. It's from Red Bull, and it's their very famous slogan. Red Bull gives you wings. Red Bull's had this slogan since the early 2000s. Although Red Bull is older than that, Red Bull was created in Thailand in the 80s. And the question is very simple. Which is the correct slogan? Red Bull gives you wings with one eye, B with two eyes, or C with three eyes in the word wings? What do you guys remember? This slogan would play after the end of each of their famous commercials, which were mostly animated. Anyways, the correct one is C with three eyes. Personally, I don't remember this. I don't really know. I don't have a personal opinion in regards to this one. However, I do have a very early commercial of Red Bull, and they've always had that one. I'll just play a little bit of it here just to show you guys how they would always show the slogan at the end of the commercial. And of course, as many of you know, in 2014, Red Bull got sued by somebody claiming that Red Bull didn't actually give them wings, and there was a huge multi-million-dollar settlement. And since then, they've had to change their slogan, and that is no longer the slogan from what I understand. But prior to that, that had always been their slogan, and it's obviously very, very famous. And this particular example is very popular right now. A lot of people are talking about it, and a lot of people have different opinions regarding this one. Anyways, I'll just put it out there and let you guys discuss it on the comments. Let me know what you guys think about it. This next one has to do with the logo. It is a very popular logo. It is the ESPN logo. I'm quite familiar with this logo as well. I used to watch ESPN quite often when I was younger, since I used to participate in fantasy leagues for basketball and football. But it's been a little while since I've done that. Anyways, these are the options. A, with all the letters spread out individually, or B, with the S and the P linked together on the top with a line. What do you guys remember for this one? And the correct answer is B, with a line on the top. And it has been like that since the 80s. And I will show you guys the history of that one in a second. However, I would like to say this about it. I remember the logo similar to the one on the left, but I remember the letters being slanted. That's what I remember, but that has never been the case. And here's the history of that one. And as we can see from the history right here, we can see since 1985 till present, they've had the same logo. They've used different color schemes. They used the black, the gray, and a few other variations. However, they've always been linked together, the S and the P, and they've never been slanted. Anyways, guys, what do you guys remember for that one? Anyways, I got one more thing to show you guys before I go. As many of you might know, if you watch either of my 2 previous updates, I said from now on, I would try to add interesting things that I found while searching for the Mandela effect. I don't really know if they're Mandela effect related, I just know it's very interesting. However, for this one, I'm pretty sure this was never like this, and it has to do with a very famous artifact. And that artifact is the Shroud of Turin. If you are familiar with this, then you'll be able to know whether or not this has always been like this. If you're not familiar with this, I would suggest you click on the link below on the description and you check it out what this artifact is. Millions of people believe that the image imprinted on the shroud is that of a person, more specifically Jesus. And it's very interesting. I know they have done a lot of scientific analysis and various different things. I believe they even try to recreate a face based on the image on the shroud. However, what I don't remember and was brought to my attention recently is if you take a look at the top of the head, we now have what appears to be horns. I had never noticed this crease or stain or whatever you want to call it that makes it seem like there's horns on top of his head. For any of you that are familiar with this artifact, do you remember the artifact being like this, with that crease or stain on top of his head that makes it look like they're a pair of horns? Or maybe we're just looking too much into it. What do you guys think? Does it seem like there's some kind of horns on top of his head now? Let me know in the comments down below. Before I go, I want to say one last thing. There's a lot of confusion sometimes in my comment section regarding these videos, and I just wanted to state that not all of these examples apply to me personally. I'm more of a reporter in the Mandela effect community. I research various outlets, whether it be Reddit, Facebook, even YouTube sometimes, and I report the most interesting Mandela effect examples that I could find. I get the ones that seem interesting to me, and then I poll various different groups on Facebook and see what people have to say about it, and then if I get enough people to agree with it, I put it on one of my videos. I don't necessarily find every single example that I post here, and I don't necessarily agree with every example that I post here. I just report what I find and what is often suggested by people commenting on my videos. Anyways, that's all I wanted to say for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out my other content, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.